Hey everybody, stick around because today we're reviewing this thing. Thanks for clicking on this video. Today we're going to take a look at a new purchase that I just made. I got super lucky with this. I started this channel really to talk about how to enjoy things like the outdoors and how to do disaster prepping and such on a budget where you're supporting a family and you can't really take a huge chunk of that and spill it into things like prepping. I love outdoor activities, things like camping and hiking and boating and stuff like that, but I don't really have a budget to go to stores like REI and places like that and buy all of my gear. I can't afford a $400 sleeping bag and a $200 sleeping pad and all of that. So anytime I can find something at a better price, I'm going to jump on that. Surprisingly enough, one of the sources that I've found for getting some good camping gear is a store called Bargain Hunt. Bargain Hunt is a clearance liquidation store. They get a bunch of stuff that didn't sell on clearance or what have you, and then they put it out at bargain prices. And they do tend to carry a lot of really good camping gear. I've seen Coleman products and some of the other very well-known, well-established product lines selling gear there. And the other day I was there and I came across this. This is a Gear Doctor's self-inflating sleeping pad. If you saw the Survival Boxes unboxing I did recently, I got a sleeping pad in that, and it was okay, but it wasn't great. I mean, it was a very low-end sleeping pad. But this is actually a pretty nice one. This is self-inflating, so all you really have to do is roll it out and open up the valve, and it'll inflate itself. So the sleeping pad is set up so it has the inflation cells, and it has a layer of 4.3 R value foam on top of that for extra thickness and extra comfort. Now you can see it's fairly good sized. So this is not something for long hike, backpacking, that kind of thing. This is something that you take if you're car camping or if you're going on a short hike or something like that. This is definitely not something that's going to stow away well into a small space. Folds away to about 8.8 inches and it weighs 2.2 pounds. So that's actually a lot of extra weight if you're hiking, say you're on the AT or something like that. You don't want to carry something that weighs this much. But for my purposes, this is going to be just right. It's at 72 inches by 22 inches, fully set up and ready to go. So we're going to take this in the tent here in a second. We're going to open it up. Now, you're supposed to let these things sit for a few minutes when you first open them. This thing's pretty well compressed. We're going to take it in, open up the valve, and we're going to see what we end up with. Oh, by the way, so on Amazon, this sells for around $50. I got it at Bargain Hunt for $16. So when I saw that price tag, I grabbed this thing up, and I've been just chomping at the bit to do a review on it. So let's take it inside, let's set it up, see what we end up with. All right, so we're inside the tent. I've got my Coleman cot set up, and I'm going to get the Gear Doctor's self-inflating sleeping pad out. And let's see just how good this thing is. What I'll do is I'll set up my gear for tonight, and then tomorrow when I get up, I'll finish out the review and let you know how I slept on this thing. So it's got a little bag with it that holds the sleeping pad. A couple of little repair patches that come with it. So this is what it looks like out of the bag. And now let's unroll it. All right, so right here is the air valve, and all we got to do is open this up, and it should start pulling air in. All right, so we're going to get the sleeping bag on here and check back with you in the morning, let you know how I slept and what my opinion is of the Gear Doctor's sleeping pad. So here we are, it's the next day, and I can actually do an official review of this air mattress. So you can see this is not a terribly thick air mattress. I know that some of them can get up to about 3 inches once they're inflated. This one is only about probably 1.5 inches. It's less than 2 inches. But that being said, it was surprisingly comfortable. You can see it's not terribly wide. It's not necessarily going to cover every inch of your sleeping surface. Now I do sleep on a cot. I've got my Coleman cot here, and I have my adventure quilt under here, and then I have the sleeping pad on top of that. The first time I took this cot out, it was terribly uncomfortable. It was so stiff to sleep on. Of course, you know, there are stretch points where it's almost like having a bar underneath it. It wasn't the most comfortable experience. So then, you know, adding this air pad to it makes all the difference in the world. It adds a little bit of cushioning. It adds a little bit of extra pad so that you feel more like you're sleeping on an actual mattress. Now, I'm a side sleeper, which I know tends to be a problem sometimes with sleeping pads. Was not a problem. I was able to turn to each side and sleep comfortably. And I did wake up a couple of times with my arm falling asleep or something, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't a bad experience. I mean, honestly, you're going to get that anytime you're sleeping outdoors, unless you're bringing an actual bed or a big air mattress with you. Also, this is a 4-season pad, so it's actually designed to create a thermal layer underneath you. Sleeping on a cot in cold weather, or even just sleeping directly on the ground, you know, you got cold ground, that's going to pull heat out of your body and you're going to wake up cold. In an environment where you're sleeping on a cot, you're going to have a convection reaction, which is basically the cooler air is floating underneath you and it's causing your body heat to be pulled down and it's bringing down your body temperature. With the insulated air mattress, you don't have that problem. You've got something thermal there that's reflecting that heat back up toward you. And this did a really good job with that. Now I do have a cold weather sleeping bag back there, but it's not a terribly expensive one. And it got pretty cold last night. We were sleeping, it was probably 32 degrees, maybe a little bit less. And I know some of you that are watching this from colder areas are probably like, oh, that's nothing. But this tent that we're in is not a cold weather tent. It is not designed for that. With the sleeping bag, the sleeping pad and everything, it was a nice warm cocoon around my body. It was the only thing that was getting cold was my face. Do I recommend this pad? Sure. This thing worked great for me last night. I don't have any problems. Didn't wake up and find it completely deflated or anything like that. I'm pretty pleased with it. I will definitely take this anytime I'm going car camping. And like I said, it's kind of big. It's a little on the heavy side. So if you're just backpacking, unless it's a short trip backpacking, probably not the one for you. They make other products for that. This isn't it, but this thing's gonna stay with my sleep system for taking on these car camping trips, and I'm super pleased with it. And of course, the test of any product like this is the next morning, can you get it to go back in the baggie? Let the air out, see if we can do anything for it. So that's it for my review of the Gear Doctor sleeping pad that I picked up from Bargain Hunt at a bargain price. If you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you can be notified of every upcoming video we've got. Also, check out the wish list in the description box below. There's a variety of items from all different price points that you can send us to help out with this channel. Things that we can either just use to advance our adventures or things that we can review in a future video. And if you tell us who you are, we will give you a proper shout out in that accompanying video. Thanks for tagging along with this. Once again, I love having you guys along for the adventures. Thank you so much for spending just a few minutes of your time with me. Until next time, remember to prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. We'll see you around.